How to Eat Fried Worms by Thomas Rockwell, Chapter 15, 3:15 a.m. His mother reached out and switched on the light. "What kind of pain, Billy?" He stood beside the bed, clutching his stomach. "In my stomach. Oh, there it goes again, I think." "Did you eat something before bed?" She was pulling on her bathrobe. "John? John?" She shook her husband's shoulder. He mumbled sleepily. "Did you eat candy or something before bed, Billy?" "Worms!" groaned Billy. "Worms? John! John! Billy, what kind of worms?" "Regular worms. Night crawlers." She felt his forehead, lifted his chin to look in his face. "You don't have a temperature. How many worms did you eat?" "5. 2 boiled and 3 fried, with ketchup, mustard, horseradish, salt, pepper, butter, to make them taste better." "Fried? Ketchup? Taste better? John, wake up!" "I had this bet with Alan." "Ugh," he groaned again. "Take your hands away. Where does it hurt now? Show me." "It doesn't really hurt so much now. It's just rumbling and gargling, something awful. It's—" "Then why are you groaning?" asked his father, sitting up. "Because I'm afraid it's going to start hurting. Do you think I'm going to die, Daddy?" "Worms?" his father asked. "Ordinary worms? Earthworms?" Billy nodded. "And how many did you eat this evening?" "1 this afternoon. I've eaten 1 every day for the last 5 days. But they weren't little ones. They were night crawlers, huge ones, as big as snakes almost." His father lay back down, pulling the covers up around his shoulders. "Don't worry. Eating 1 night crawler a day for 6 weeks wouldn't hurt you. Go back to bed. It's probably all the ketchup and mustard that's upsetting your stomach. Drink a glass of warm water." "John, are you sure?" said Billy's mother. "It doesn't seem to me that worms could be a very healthy thing to eat." "John?" His father snuggled deeper under the covers. "I didn't say eating worms would turn him into an all-American fullback. I just said they wouldn't hurt him. Now let's go to sleep." Billy's mother glanced at Billy, shivering beside the bed in bare feet and pajamas, and then shook her husband again. "John! John, wake up! I think you should call Dr. McGrath. You don't really know whether or not eating worms is harmful." "I know you don't." Billy's father groaned and sat up. "Now look, I am not going to call Dr. McGrath at 3:30 in the morning to ask if it's all right for my son to eat worms. That's flat. Secondly, I do know that Billy's not going to die before morning. If worms were poisonous, which they're not, he would have been laid up before this. Billy, you've been eating worms for 5 days." Billy nodded. "All right. And thirdly, I ate a live crayfish when I was in college and have suffered no discernible ill effects. And fourthly, I am going to sleep." Billy's mother slipped her feet into her slippers, stood up and buttoned her bathrobe, and then leaned over the bed and shook her husband's shoulder. "John, John, I won't be able to sleep until you call. John, John, what about tapeworms or a fungus? John, wake up." "Billy, you go back to bed. Your father will call Dr. McGrath." "John, John." Billy lay in bed listening to his mother and father arguing in their bedroom. He could only make out a word here and there. Usually, when his father started to shout, only to be shushed immediately by his mother. Billy got sleepier and sleepier. His stomach had stopped rumbling and gargling. It was warm and cozy under the covers after standing on the cold floor in his bare feet. Then, in the midst of a foggy drowse, he heard someone dialing the phone in the hall outside his parents' bedroom. And then his father said, "Poison control?" and explained the case. Then there was a silence. Billy heard the water running in the bathroom, and then his father said, "You're sure? These weren't little ones, they were night crawlers." Pause. "And no long-range ill effects?" Pause. His father laughed. "A bet, I think." And the next thing Billy knew, sunlight was streaming through his window, and Emily was skipping down the hall past his door singing, "Half a pound of tuppenny rice, half a pound of treacle, that's the way the money goes." His father shouted down the stairs, "Helen, do you know where my green tie with the red stripes is?" And that is the end of Chapter 15. If you like my channel, you can like and subscribe below.